I have been abused pretty much in every way possible, shape, or form. I was the placeholder for all my mom's unhealed pain, unfortunately, and probably my dad's as well. His was just quieter. And then at the age of 6, I went to Catholic school. And back then, before DIFUS and DFS or whatever they call it, wherever you are out in, uh, internet land, the when your parents pay to go to private religious Catholic school, you were basically paying to have your children hit, whipped, beaten, hair pulled, shamed in front of the whole school. I'm 58 years old and I've only recently been diagnosed with ADHD. That's how much we didn't talk about those things. You had to suck it up back then. That's what it was. When you cross the line, you cross the line, and then that's the end of that. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than having zero say, and you're watching somebody else raise your child and you have zero say over it, because that is not what I signed up for. And at the time, I didn't have a voice. I was too busy people pleasing and doing all of the things to try and make it nice. And, I had no voice, no self esteem, definitely no worth. I got all kinds of people's rage coming out of me. So now I'm like a volcano at some point. And when you're a mama who has no say in their child's life, at some point, you're going to blow. And so I would double down and fight harder for him. But what I did recognize at that point is that my son was in the middle of this, right? My son is in the middle of this and he didn't ask for this. Sometimes, even when you have a voice, you have to not use your voice. So the point of that is like doing what's best for my son is sometimes is shutting my mouth, or in life, sometimes it's better to shut your mouth than it is to open your mouth, even when you have the voice to use, like you have to discern the difference of like pick your battles kind of thing. The biggest hurdle that wasn't actually mine, probably the gaslighting, because I was questioning my life. If you're constantly told like that never happened or I never said, that messes with your psyche.
I spent a lot of years in environments or relationships where I was gaslit constantly.
Yeah.
And it comes to a point where I'm just like, why even bother? Why even try? Because I know that my reality is going to be dismissed.
No wonder I had no self-esteem, because if you are constantly gaslit, and I'm not saying like she knew what she was doing, and maybe she did, like that's not for me to say. But what I do know is the corrosiveness of it, like I said, on my psyche, because when you are gaslit, you're questioning your own thoughts and your own value. And until you heal something, you're going to attract what you know. And what I knew was unhealed, unavailable. Each one of those gaslighting things where they give you a compliment and then they give you a dig, and a compliment and a dig, right? It erodes at whatever self-worth or self-esteem you built. Real true blue narcissists that are narcissists, you're never changing, you're never doing anything. The best thing you can do is walk away.
One of the things that for me, I think people pleasing is the hardest one for me to shed completely. And I recognize it's probably one of my first trauma responses in response to what I went through as a child. And then I mastered it. I mastered being able to people please, but sitting in resentment.
I needed you to love me, please keep me in your life, don't abandon me. And so Al-Anon showed me how to say no. I attracted takers. I was the giver, they were the taker. It was a need relationship. It wasn't reciprocal. I'm going to be in this relationship with this guy because it's better than nothing. And what is that saying? That I'm nothing without it? Just now, right now, in this moment, if I never do anything for anyone ever again, that I am worthy. I was put here for a reason, and it wasn't to do for all of you.
Who the hell am I without this, right? It's a lot to contend with, but when we get to a place where we can take control back and really map out the things that feel aligned to us, that feel aligned with our goals, aligned with our core values, aligned with our purpose, I think it becomes easier to navigate our healing process. Forgiveness of others is pushed before forgiveness of self. And I often am very bold in saying you don't need to forgive because there seems to be this ideation that forgiveness of others is more important than the forgiveness of self.
For somebody who's a trauma survivor, this can be a mind F in and of itself. This is almost like gaslighting a trauma survivor because of whatever. But at the time, I still needed it. Some of the stuff that AA was asking me to do was not safe for me because I didn't even know how to make myself create a safe space within me. You can want to forgive, but that doesn't mean the forgiveness goes away on its own. Like being willing and it going is two different things. The difference is I wasn't willing to even look at forgiveness with that one until maybe a few years ago. And that's a
Mhm.
long time. So my son's 35. Now that I'm willing to forgive, it's definitely softened. It's not really forgiving her, it's forgiving myself for being an addict, for being a drug addict, for not being able to take care of my son, for having that situation happen at all. Because believe me, the evolution of hell no, I'll never forgive her for stealing my child to it's a projection of my own pain is a very big, very
Mhm.
long, arduous process to get to. I'm done pretending, which is awesome.
It's not necessarily an agreement. It's the
Absolutely.
reconciliation that this is part of your reality. You were not built to break. You damn sure were not built to just survive. Disrupt the cycle, reclaim your life, and thrive on your own terms. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You're just unfinished.